Hi guys, Sarah here with another layout process video for you today. Today I'm using some products by Thompsons Craft Supplies. I was lucky enough to win a competition with them, and with my voucher I got hold of a few goodies for Christmas, and I also decided to get this Lucky Dip kit which was £15. There is a video of my haul and what I got from them, and it's an earlier video, but I'll link it in the description below in case you want to go check out what I got from there. And so I'm making a layout using those products that were in the Lucky Dip kit. So first off, I've taken one of the wooden frames that I got and I'm just adding some gesso to this, and I add quite a lot. I want to basically make this frame white, so I do add a layer and then put it to one side to dry while I get on with creating my background, and I'll come back to that later to make it more white by adding another layer on top. So from the Lucky Dip kit I've picked out these two papers which go really nicely together. They've got a antique pale blue on both of them. One's got it in the stripes, the other's spotted, and I'm going to add the spotty paper behind the stripe paper, but then tear the paper apart to create a tattered wallpaper kind of effect. So for this layout I am using quite different techniques to usual. I got some beautiful flowers in with my kit as well, so I wanted to create something quite a lot more 3D than I'd normally go for, and I will be putting this into a frame as a gift, so I do add lots of embellishments to this, and rather than it going in a scrapbook plastic sleeve, it would not fit in one of them, but it works really well for a nice 3D scrapbook layout to go on a wall in a frame. So as you can see, I've literally just torn pieces away from my background paper, and the blue background is peeking through now, and I want to add a little more interest, a little more texture. So I'm adding some texture paste through this Prima stencil, and it's just standard white texture paste that I got from Hobbycraft. I think it's Dalo Brownie, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. That's the brand of the texture paste, and I'm just using a metal spatula to do that. And I'll leave that to one side to dry and go through the rest of the bits and bobs that I got and choosing what I think will go well. I got this paper pad which has got some blue papers in it, so I'll go through that and take out some of the papers to add a paper cluster behind this photo, which is a picture of me when I'm primary school, and I thought the colours went really nicely because I'm wearing a grey pinafore and light blue shirt, and I've got a little blue bow, so it seemed to be the right colours, and I'll be sending this to my mum as a present that she can put on a wall. So I've trimmed this photo down and I'll be adding some paper layers now. And as you can see, I've chosen blues and greens, which will tie in nicely with my background papers, and I'm just going to trim down each piece and just using my fingernail distress the edges up so that they're all ruffled up, which is in keeping with the rest of the background with all the tears in the paper. And I love this blue paper. I think this one's a Chasing Dreams paper pad in 6x6, so I'm just adding a few papers from that and just using my ATG gun to stick them down. So for this layout I do actually use some mixed media, but unfortunately my paints didn't actually film for some reason, and what I used was the Jane Davenport, that's it, mermaid markers, and on there they look really fluorescent, but they're not that fluorescent. It's just the camera lighting that's making it look that bright. All I did was use a pencil to mark out where my paper cluster was, then I painted around the edge and used just directly with my marker, and then I just blended it out with water and just added a few splashes here and there. I do come in with another colour in the markers and add an extra different colour to it just to add a bit more interest. I decided to add this beautiful floral paper as well to my paper cluster, and again I do ruffle that up as well. And here I'm just adding this other colour in, but this time I'm not adding it straight to my paper, but you can see the effect you get when you just add water, and that's what I did on the first layer that didn't film properly. And I'm just going to add with this one just some extra splashes of colour, just protecting the stuff off to one side there in case I get paint all over it, and I'm just adding a few splashes there. So while that dries, I'm going to come back in with some gesso, and I'm just adding a little bit to these paper flowers, which are, I think they're Iron Roses ones, which they also sell in the shop, as well as Prima flowers. And I'm just dabbing a little bit of white to make a bit more of a distressed look to that flower, as you can see against that other one. So once I've painted them flowers, I add another coat of gesso to my frame as well to make it a bit more white. I also grab a couple of metal embellishments that I've had in my stash for forever and I'm just adding some white to these as well. I've just added a little bit because I do still want the kind of metal to show through. I just wanted to mute them down a little bit. So as well, in that bowl I've just grabbed a few bits of trinkets and buttons that I also found that were in my stash that just are the right colours for this layout, and I add a doily from my stash that I've just trimmed in two to add on an angle going up the page. I'm just going to glue that down behind my photo, and I've also trimmed off a piece of lace to put at the bottom. So I'm just gluing these pieces on to the back of my photo here. If you want to enter the, it'll be the October challenge now, then I'll be leaving a link below for that as well if you want to enter, and one person will win a voucher for the shop, so I'll be sure to leave the link below in description as well. Now here I'm just adding some extra foam because I want my photo to lie flat on top of that frame, and it's on a bit of an angle, so I end up using a double layer of foam behind my picture. I'm also adding this lace to the bottom here as well, and just gluing it to the back so it peeks out from underneath. So here I add my extra foam because I realise it's on a bit of an angle there. So I add lots of adhesive, and that's just cheap foam from the local hobbycraft to me, and it's just in the children's section. So now I just move my embellishments around and just add them here and there until I'm happy with them, and then I'll glue them down. I added just a little bit of ribbon in, it's like a lace ribbon that I added to the little key there as well. Apologies if you can hear my toddler in the background chatting away. I'm adding the butterfly at the top as well as some flowers, and I just keep moving them around until I'm happy, and then I've got my glue gun out to stick down the more difficult to adhere elements to my page. I'm just adding buttons in amongst the flowers to fill in the gaps on the clusters. I've added that cute porcelain effect little angel there. I'm just adding this key in as well at the bottom, and then once I've added the chunkier embellishments, I do go through my stash and just pull out the ones that are small embellishments that are blue, green, blue, and then some gold as well. Just rummage through them and find some extra embellishments to add in as well. I mainly just want the cluster to be on that angle going up the page around my photo, with just a few small pieces that go off to the sides. Here I am, I'm bringing in those adhesive gems first of all. I add quite a few of these here and there in the different small, medium, large sizes. I just add them in amongst the splashes of mixed media, as well as tucking them in amongst the embellishment clusters as well. and I add in a few more little flowers as well. The what would you call them, acrylic maybe, that I just had either gifted to me or just random old things. I'm not sure where I got them from, where I've just put them in colour boxes. So now I've moved on to the gold ones, and I've found these lovely gold gems which work really well with the more yellowy tones in the flowers, and so to go with that I do add some mixed media at the end to tie in the gold a little bit more and the yellow. So I've got out my trusty old butterfly punch here, and I'm just punching out a few bits from the papers that I used and just adding in a few of the butterflies here and there. I'm trying to make sure that the colours of the butterflies are contrasting, and I've just used a small dab of glue on them just to adhere them down. And I'm just using my Dylusions white linen ink spray to add some splashes of white over the background, and then I will also add some gold to tie in the gold and yellow elements on the page in a second. There we go. And obviously I have waited until the white is dry, otherwise the colours would mix together and go a funny swirly strange colour. And that is me done. So thanks for joining me today. If you haven't already, then please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and here's some close-up.